Heart Connection podcast, lovelies. This is a place to connect, to inspire, to heal, and to empower you to live a healthy, happy, and purposeful life from your heart. I'm Pavlina, your host. I'm an intuitive health and life coach, and I help women to connect to themselves, to step into their power and their purpose, and to heal from within. I believe that all issues we are experiencing in life, physical, mental, and emotional, arise from being disconnected from your heart, from your true self, and I'm going to help you to open your mind, to connect to your heart, and to heal from within. So let's dive right in. Hello and welcome to season 2 of the Heart Connection podcast, my beautiful friends. I'm so excited to be here. Again, this is the first episode I'm recording in 2022. It's been a minute and I didn't expect the break to be this long, to be honest. I thought I would take a break for a month or two and then get back into it, but it ended up being almost 5 months because the last episode of season 1 was aired first week of December 2021, and now is the first week of May 2022, so 5 months. Whoa. Why has it taken so long? You might be wondering. Well, there's a few reasons, but I guess I needed this break to create, to integrate, to grow some more. I feel like I went through a lot of personal growth in my life and also in my business. And I've had a lot of realizations. I have connected to, let's say, some more guides. I've connected deeper with Source, with my inner voice, with the divine feminine. And I will talk about all of this in a little bit. But the main reason was that I needed time to create my online program, the Conscious Healing Blueprint, and it took up a lot of my time and energy, to be honest, to create it. And even though I knew what I wanted to create, I already had the structure, everything, and I even knew what I was going to say and thought I knew what it's gonna look like. But I guess the universe had different plans for me. And Conscious Healing Blueprint is based on work I've done with my one-to-one clients over the last few years. And the structure is similar to the one-to-one program I ran with my private clients before, but it took a life on its own, to be honest. And I needed to surrender during this process because that's that's the main thing I guess I needed to learn throughout this process, to surrender and to let it move through me and don't get stuck on how I wanted it to look like or what I wanted it to be. So I'm going to talk about this more a little bit later in this episode, but what I want to talk about first is what season 2 is going to be about. So, first thing, season 2 will not be just about healing, because season 1 was focusing on healing a lot. I was talking about my own healing journey and about different modalities and what it's been like for me and my clients and different realizations and all of these things I've learned over the years since I started my healing journey and my self-development journey, and also what I teach my clients, how I approach healing, and not just physical, but also spiritual, emotional, mental, and so on. And we talked about energy a lot and inner voice and growth and expansion, but season 2 won't be just about healing. I will still talk about healing, and we will still talk about healing and spirituality and stepping into your power, your purpose, but I feel that it will be much more. And I feel I've grown so much over the last 5 months, and I'd like to share that with you. And the other thing that will be a bit different is that season 2 will introduce guests. So in season 1, it was just me sharing and me speaking about topics that I'm passionate about, that are important to me, and then I feel are important to you as well. But throughout the last few months, I realized that I need to bring in more connection, not just into my life, but into my business as well. And I even got approached a while ago, maybe already last summer, by someone to be a guest on my podcast, and it didn't feel aligning back then. I think I needed to come to these realizations myself. And now I'm so excited to bring on guests to the Heart Connection podcast, and I already recorded a few interviews that you will get to listen to in the next few weeks, and I have so many more guests that I want to invite in my heart, in my mind. So stay tuned, and I will probably still do solo episodes now and then. But I really do want to bring more connection into the podcast, not just for me, but for you as well, because I feel like we all need more connection in our lives, because the last 2 years we've been so isolated. A lot of us have been staying at home, working from home, and it can be quite lonely and isolating, and we are not meant to live like this. We are meant to live in communities, in connection and cooperation and co-creation with others, especially as women. So I really feel like connection and community, it will be a big focus this season, and not just on the podcast, but in my life and in my business as well. Also, 2022, the number 2, I feel, is all about connection, in numerology. And I don't know, it just feels like number 2. As soon as the year started, I started feeling the need for more connection subconsciously, I guess. And over the last couple months, it has intensified, and I've been part of different communities, containers, and I want to bring this energy and community aspect into the podcast as well, and more in my business also. So it's really exciting for me. And I even found out that in my human design, if you're familiar with human design, I'm a triple split definition. So I thrive on connections. I actually need different people, different energies in my life because it energizes me. So it's not really natural for me to be isolated and to be working by myself. And I love, even though it's scary for me, I love being in communities and connection with other women and working in groups and bringing more connection and co-creation. And that's what I want to focus on way more this year, because in the past even in my business, I've done a lot of one-to-one coaching, and Conscious Healing Blueprint is my first group program. And I want to do more of that. I will still be doing some one-to-one coaching, but I will mainly be focusing on group containers. And I will soon launch round 2 of Conscious Healing Blueprint. And I also already have another program that came to me already a few months ago. Was the first time it came through from my inner voice and from my guides. But actually yesterday it came through even louder. And I feel like it will come sooner than my mind would have expected. And especially because I will be launching round 2 of Conscious Healing Blueprint soon. So I didn't think that I will be creating a new program anytime soon, because it took out a lot. But actually the growth and the learning process when I was creating Conscious Healing Blueprint gave me a good idea how I would do it differently next time. So more about that a bit later maybe. But so what I want to talk more about now is what's been happening in the last few months apart from creating Conscious Healing Blueprint, which I can't stop talking about, guys. Sorry, because it's been such a big part of my life. So big that I didn't even have time or energy, not just for the podcast, but I haven't really been very active on social media. I haven't been sending out newsletters, anything. But I feel like now I'm ready again to come back to the world and start sharing more, and start sharing not just about my own growth, but sharing these spaces with you and co-creating with you and sharing what I've been through, what has transpired, and where it's taking me, and what I want to be in the world, where I want to go, and how I can serve more, because this is a big part of who I am. And what I came here to do in this world is to share what I've learned and share my struggles, which is still sometimes not easy with me, and be authentic and don't worry about looking bad when I share my struggles or what I'm still working on and still working through, because we are never done, guys, I feel like. And it doesn't mean that once you heal something, it won't ever come back. I've had to learn the hard way in the past, and it caused me a lot of pain and disappointment. And I talk about this all the time with my clients, that whatever shows up in your life shows up because you are ready for it, and you are meant to go through it and to work through it and to heal it and to grow from it and to expand. And by me sharing my journey with you and what I struggle with, I feel like I will be helping you to go through your struggles, because we are in this together. We're not separate. We are all connected. And when I'm going through things and sharing about them and healing them, I'm also helping others to do that and shine the light on their blocks, their problems, their struggles. And that's like that for a lot of people. So I received the message that I'm no longer, even though it is still scary sometimes to be seen fully as I am, as my authentic self, but I received the message that I am here to be the torchbearer and the light worker and the light leader, and show other women, help other women to do the same. So it feels like a shift. It feels like a shift because I feel like I'm no longer meant to work with women and help women who are not ready to step into their power and heal themselves and to help this change in the world and to create a new world, you know. Because in the past, I was trying to help everyone, and it just didn't, it wasn't joyful. It wasn't joyful, and it was draining, and I'm not here for it anymore. And I know I'm not for everyone, and I know that I can't help everyone, and if someone doesn't want to be helped, then we are not meant to work together. So I don't expect to be here for everyone. And I'm not even, you know, in my programs, I'm not even here to help you, to heal you. I'm here to hold space for you and help you to become your own healer, your own sovereign being and your own authority. And by doing that and releasing what no longer serves you, I'm helping you to become empowered and step into your purpose. And we are healing physical issues and other issues and overcoming many, many things. But by doing that, we are helping we are helping the world to heal as well. And I can't stress this enough. We are all in this together, and the world, the way it's been, it can't function like this much longer. So and it has been changing. I feel it so much over the last couple of years that it has been changing, and more people are waking up. And health issues, or no matter if they're physical, mental health issues, or if you're struggling with some emotional issues, relationship issues, or even financial issues, all of these things, or with loss, with trauma, whatever is coming into your life, you are experiencing it because you are meant to wake up. All these things we feel when we're going through these things, that's the worst thing ever. And we feel like, why me? And why do I have to suffer? And we get really upset, and it's not a nice place to be. But these things come into your life because they are meant to help you to grow. They are showing you the way back to yourself, back to your soul, back to source, back to the truth of who you are. And the only thing you need to do is work through these things. Recognize what they came to tell you, and these realizations are often enough to heal and to move forward. And especially with health issues, sometimes we have to heal things that are very, very old, and not just from this lifetime. They can be generations old. They can be lifetimes, hundreds and thousands of years old. And we are here. If you're here right now, living your life right now, you came here to heal something, because we are healing collectively, one by one, but all together. And we are healing humankind, and we are healing the earth, and we are creating a new earth. We are stepping into a new paradigm, letting go of dysfunctional patterns. We are stepping out of patterns where we were waiting for people to save us, to fix us, to help us. We are here to wake up, to step into our power and our purpose, and help to create a new world. And that's what we are doing together. And I feel like I went on a bit of a tangent, but why is this coming through is because I can't not talk about this. Seriously, I can't not talk about this. I have to talk about this. I wasn't even talk about it this much, but it keeps coming through. So it's important to say these things. And what I've learned in the last 5 months is that it's so important to let go of the things we think we are meant to do, meant to have, the ways we think we are meant to do things, and where we're supposed to be, where we're supposed to go. Let go of control, which is really, really scary for the mind, because the mind likes to keep safe, keep in the old patterns that are comfortable and familiar, but we can't do this anymore. So when we release these fears and these things that have been holding us back, and for me, definitely that have been holding me stuck for a long time. And I thought for a long time that I needed to do things a certain way. And I was trying to force things, to control things. But since the beginning of the year, I feel like I've been trusting and surrendering more and more. And maybe it started last year already, but I feel like this year it's been all about surrendering more and more and letting things to come through me rather than trying to do things the way my mind thinks I should do them. Because once I sort of got out of the way, and it wasn't like one moment, I keep having to get out of the way more and more. And I needed a lot of support on this journey, and I still need support on this journey. And I keep investing into masterminds and coaches and programs to help me with this, because we are not meant to do this alone. And it's maybe some of you are, but it will take a very long time, to be honest, I feel like, because when you do have the support, it's so much easier to move through these things and have these realizations and surrender more and trust more and create the things you are meant to create. And having the accountability and the mirror from other people to show you what you're not seeing because you are stuck in some pattern or in some old way, in some limiting belief, or in a trauma response, or in a fear response, So it's so useful when you have this accountability and this mirror and this space where you can do this, where other people hold space for you. And also when you do these things in group containers, and I used to be really scared to talk in front of other people about my fears and things I'm going through and all these things. But when we share honestly and openly and vulnerably with others, then they can do the same. And it's so helpful and so empowering when we do this together, because a lot of us are going through the same things and we're scared to talk about them in front of other people. And it's so helpful when we do that and when we share what's going on with us, and when we ask for help, because a lot of us don't like asking for help and admitting that we need help, because we all do. We're not meant to live this life alone. We are not meant to do life by ourselves. We are here together, and we are here to do this together. And what has been really helpful for me, apart from being in these containers, these groups over time, and I keep joining masterminds and programs, but now I'm being, like I mentioned already, I'm being guided to create these containers and communities myself. And it makes so much sense, guys. I received the message yesterday. It wasn't the first time, but yesterday it clicked that I can have these containers and I'm meant to have these communities and I can create them myself. And so can you, we all we can all create what we want to have more of in our lives. And I needed to have the experience of being on the receiving side, and I'm not saying that I won't be joining any more of these programs anymore, and masterminds and women's groups, because we all do need it. But also I want to create them for you. I want to share this with you, and I want to bring in more connection into what I teach and what I do. And this podcast is definitely part of it. And the programs I'm creating and I will be creating will be also part of it. And if you follow me on social media, you might have noticed over the last month or so, I was sharing about this challenge that I was guided to do myself. My inner voice called it 21 Days of Joy. And it wasn't like 21 consecutive days. I wasn't doing it because I needed to take a break, and then it sort of stretched out. But anyway, 21 Days of Joy was an answer to something I felt I needed for a very long time. I felt like I don't have enough joy in my life, and I kept struggling to bring it into my life. And I've had these realizations recently too, that in Czech we have a saying that you do work first and then you can have fun. And and it hasn't clicked until now that I can actually have fun in my business. I can bring more joy into my business, into what I do, because my business is my life, guys, to be honest. And even when I'm not working, I'm thinking about what I can do and how I can help. And sometimes it's been a bit exhausting and it didn't feel aligning, because my mind had ideas what my business should look like and what I should do and how I should do it, because I saw other people doing it and talking about it. And I went through different business programs where I got told this is the way you're supposed to do it to be successful. And it just wasn't working for me. And I kept hanging on to some of these ideas and perceptions. And also, I was scared to do things a certain way. And I was scared to trust my intuition, my inner voice, and my guides and do things a certain way. And I spent, especially when I was creating Conscious Healing Blueprint, I thought I needed to do things a certain way, and I needed to prepare everything in advance. And I spent so much time preparing and then editing and revising and trying to make it perfect. And yes, I'm a recovering perfectionist, and it's not about that at all. It's about the energy and having fun with it. And that's what I'm still learning. But 21 Days of Joy was something that I was trying. I realized with the help of one of my coaches that over the last, I don't know how many years, the idea of fun for me was working on myself, reading self-development books, spiritual books, scientific books, and doing courses and going through releasing things and connecting with other coaches. And I mean, I still love all of these things, but once it became a full-time job, it's sort of the joy almost went out of it. And I realized that I wasn't focusing on having fun and playing and being with other women just to be with them and having fun and sharing and, do things just for fun. And so 21 Days of Joy was a way for me to figure out what actually brings me joy, because I forgot how to have fun. Even though I had like little things I know that bring me joy, like flowers and colorful clothes and chocolate and different things. But I wasn't like, overall, I felt like, because I was spending so much time in my business and working on myself, that it took up so much of my time that the joy part wasn't a big part of my days, let's say. And 21 Days of Joy was a process where I started discovering how I can bring more joy into not just into my life, but also my business, because it is such a big part of my life. And the biggest realization was that I do want to bring more connection and communities into my life. And I sort of already knew this, because when you're on a spiritual journey, you often lose touch with people, and you feel like your old friends don't understand you, and your family doesn't understand you. And I stopped going out, I stopped drinking, and that used to be a big part of my life, years ago, and my whole 20s, part of my 30s, and I already started as a teenager. So yeah, for a long time, that was a big part of my life, and that's how I used to have fun, going out, being with friends. And since I started my healing journey, my self-development journey, I stopped doing it because I was no longer drinking. And many of my old friends go out and drink, and that didn't feel aligning anymore. And during the 21 Days of Joy and during the challenge, I realized I need community. I need more connections, especially with women. And this feels so joyful for me. So joyful. And especially bringing back in-person connections, because we've all been online for the last 2 years and doing everything online, and I work from home. So having in-person meetings and gatherings with women was so big as well. But also, like I said, I realized I needed to bring more of it into my business as well. So that's why I'm inviting guests to the podcast now. I want to create more group containers, more group programs, and also when I'm creating these programs with Conscious Healing Blueprint, I pre-recorded a lot of stuff, and I want to bring in more life coaching and group calls. So round 2 of Conscious Healing Blueprint will have more group calls. There will still be the pre-recorded part that with all the trainings and teachings and guided meditations and soul journeys and tapping scripts and everything that will help you to do the work yourself. But there will be more group calls and sharing and healing together as well, because that's what we're here to do, and that's what I'm here to do, and that's what feels joyful right now. And I know in my heart so much that this is the way we are meant to do this, because I've experienced this so much myself as being part of such containers and part of communities, and I really want to bring it more into my business as well. So Conscious Healing Blueprint round 2 will launch end of May, and you will, if you follow me, if you are signed up to my newsletter, if you follow this podcast, if you follow me on social media, you will definitely find out about this. And I will do a free workshop before I launch the program, so you can get a bit of a taste of what it's like if you will be interested to join. So you will find out about that later. But one more thing I wanted to touch on also, if you do follow me on social media, is you may have noticed a while ago I was going through some, let's say, ascension symptoms. So I was experiencing, like, I was getting dizzy, and I was feeling like during the night I'm falling, and I had really weird dreams, and I was sweating at night, and it was really, really strange. And sometimes, I've gone through a lot of different ascension symptoms, and when you don't know what ascension is, it's when you are up-leveling energetically. So when you are shedding what no longer serves you, when you are shedding the layers and the limiting beliefs and the energetic blocks and past traumas, and releasing these layers and coming back to your soul and becoming more and more who you truly are, you start to raise your vibration. And sometimes this can cause ascension symptoms. So it can be anything from, you can even feel like you have the flu, or you can sweat at night, or you can get dizzy, or there's different things you can experience. But this was so strange, and I shared it on social media, and I said that I will talk about it more on the podcast, and I feel like I've already talked for a long time today. But I wanted to just mention this in case you were wondering what helped me. And what helped me was really taking a break from doing any work and ground myself more. So that was something I needed to realize, that I needed to get grounded. And not long after that, I started connecting with even before, I used to go for walks and connect to nature, but even more after this experience, these symptoms, I started to get more grounded, connecting I started connecting with the elements more, with the earth and water and air and fire energy. And through this, I received some new guides came to me as well, which is probably a topic for another podcast. But this raising of vibration helped me to get into higher realms, and I connected with the divine feminine, with goddess Isis, and with some guides. But yeah, I think I will leave this for another podcast, because there's so much to talk about, and I feel like I'm still going through this process, so it might be better to talk about it when I have more perspective what this all means. But just wanted to mention this in case you are wondering. And there's different ways to ground yourself, but I think most important thing is to connect with your body. Connect with your body, connect with the earth. And because sometimes I feel like when we are doing this work, we are focusing on the energetic realm a lot. And for me anyways, like connecting with my heart, with my inner voice, with my soul, and so on. And sometimes we get disconnected from the body, and then we can experience physical symptoms again, because they are bringing us back to ourselves. So not just energetically and not just spiritually, but also back to our body, because your body, if you didn't have your body, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be living this life. You wouldn't be on this earth right now. So coming back to the body and connecting to the body. And I've been doing more embodiment practices and, connecting to the body consciously every day and noticing how your body feels, what it wants to tell you. It's been a good reminder for me, and it came when I was still creating Conscious Healing Blueprint, and I feel like I needed to go through so I can put it into the program as well. So it's part of the program. Part of the program is also how you stay grounded, stay connected, and how you connect to your body and learn to listen to your body and learn to understand what your body is telling you and what you need to do, what it wants you to do. So more on that maybe maybe some other time. To wrap this up, in the next few weeks, we have some amazing guests coming to the podcast. So I'm so excited to introduce them to you and for them to share their wisdom with you. And I will be sharing about it with you on social media and in the newsletter. So if you don't follow me, please do, because you will get all the updates there, or sign up to the newsletter, because I will be sharing the updates in the newsletter as well. And if you had any aha moments during this episode, or if there's anything that you took away that was helpful for you, this was more like just me sharing an update, but I would be grateful if there was something helpful for you, if you would share it with me. Just take a screenshot when you're listening to this and share it on Instagram, and tag me and share your takeaways with me. And before I wrap up, I also want to let you know that there is a wait list for round 2 of Conscious Healing Blueprint. So if you want to get on the wait list, I will share the link in the show notes and you can sign up. And for those of you who will be on the wait list, there might be a surprise, a little bonus when you do join Conscious Healing Blueprint after, which won't be, no one else will receive this bonus. So if you are thinking about joining us in round 2 of Conscious Healing Blueprint, get on the wait list. I think that's all today, guys. So stay tuned for more episodes, for all the amazing interviews that are coming. And I'm so grateful that you are here with me again. I'm so happy that I can be here with you and share with you. I want to send you so much love from my heart to yours, and I will talk to you again very soon. Thank you, sending you so much love. Bye-bye.